calm down. Linda says she gonna call the sheriff if they keep going on.
All right.
That's the one that's rescheduled. Hold on for a little longer.
You guys about ready? You guys about ready?
Okay, let me know about this.
Not feeling good.
She told me she won't be. Okay. And then she said that, she might want to go to
You got some water? Where's Felicia? In the washroom? Let's rock and roll. You're gonna get done. He's gonna get done. Great. So. Where Felicia go to the washroom?
I think she went to the restroom.
I got me a treat for tonight. I got me some oranges. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
But we know I said
I'm good with that. Let's rock and roll.
we're gonna talk it out, and what you need to do is look.
Let's go. Let's roll.
So I'm gonna organize this.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'm too old for anything else. I was like, that is John White, a P&F commissioner. John White, a P&F commissioner. A P&F.
We have it in here, right?
You never met him? He's been there by when y'all first came in. He lives on Clover Lane. He's a sheriff. It's a whole. He got a little bit bigger, but. Oh Lord, have mercy. Who done called her? Kim got a big mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Good evening, and thank you for your patience. This meeting is now getting ready to start. Unfortunately, our clerk gets called at the last minute. She will not be in attendance, so we'll have Trustee Thompson will be taking the recording. Trustee Karen Lewis will be doing the roll, and we'll continue moving our community forward. So, roll call, please. Trustee Lewis.
Trustee Lewis, that's myself, accounted for.
Trustee McFadden.
Present.
Trustee Brooks. Trustee Thompson.
Present.
Trustee Williams. Mayor Rudez.
I'm present. Let us please.
Trustee Fulcher.
Trustee Fulcher.
Here.
Trustee
The one you
Fulcher.
looking dead at. Let us please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any general public comments regarding the agenda? If not, we'll take general public comments right after this. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? What do you got, Donna? She just gave me a cover sheet. I just got a cover sheet. Donna, what you got? I just got a cover sheet. No. The following items are up for the COW meeting. Discussion, item 518, discussion renewal of agreement between the Village of University Park. Oh, okay. Is this regarding anything to this agenda?
Yes.
It's good to see you out there. The items are discussion of renewal for Greenfield lawn maintenance and discussion for spending authority for the city manager. Those are the two items for discussion. Which one do you have a question on?
I have a question on F1C.
There is no F1C on this agenda, ma'am. You're the wrong agenda. That's the 7 o'clock agenda. No. We're just running a little late. This is the COW meeting right now. The next item, the items you're speaking of on the regular agenda meeting. All right, so the first item is item 51A, a discussion renewal of agreement between the Village of University Park and Greenfield's Lawn Care for maintenance of village parks. Are there any questions, comments, or anything? Thank you.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Does this include the baseball fields contract? 'Cause I didn't see it.
This is separate from the baseball fields. This only includes Palmer Park. This only includes Palmer Park, Craig Park, Regal Farm, Village Hall, the Police Department, Town Center, Shopping Center, this here, Hickok Pool, the Circle Tot Lots, and Pine Lake.
Okay, is that going to be done separately?
Yes.
Okay,
Separate contract.
okay, because that's also, that needs to, they usually start working on that at the beginning of April as well, so that's going to be coming soon. I don't know if he submitted it or not. Did he did? Okay. And then, other question that I had with, Director Vargas. So based off of the services last year, is there any recommendations of anything that needs to be changed or adjusted based off for?
Yes, so when I spoke to the gentleman from, I believe it's PTO, correct? When I spoke with that gentleman, I know last year for the contract that you guys agreed on, it did not have the weed whacking included. That was one thing that I did ask for him to put on this time, so that way it does look a bit cleaner, because in the starting of the season, you can't really tell, but once we're closer to the end of the season, you can start seeing all the high grass protruding against all the fences, against all the tot lots, things like that.
Okay, so you're gonna do the weed whacking now?
Yes.
And is that part of the edging as well?
Yes.
Okay, so that's added in. Okay, good. Thank you.
Is it pertaining to this agenda? Which item?
The item is 51D.
Okay. She's good out there.
Disturbed by that, 51D, it goes into, the village manager having, instead of 5,000, voted to 25,000. Last meeting, it was 5,000 to 10. Now you're going up to 25,000
Yes, ma'am.
per transaction?
Well, actually, we're in compliance with the state statute. The state statute usually allows village managers between 25 and 30,000 on allowance, so you can just check that for a point of reference. So we're just trying to be in compliance because everything does not need action, and sometimes our city manager, no matter who's sitting there, needs to take things in consideration to get things done for our community. So that's what we're asking. So that's what it is.
Here's the thing, we're in University Park. You say it's state, what?
Statute.
State statute.
That's
We're
common.
in University Park, and there's things that we need to have done here instead of giving the village manager $25,000 to spend at will per transaction. We're talking about if you guys want to go on a trip, it's 25,000, and then say tomorrow, the next day, you want to do something, that's another 25,000.
Well, Ms. Morgan, I'll just tell you what my experience tells me, that we have a competent, very fiscal-minded manager, and I don't think that there's any opportunity for abuse or misuse. It's only pouring back into our community. I'll just give you a small example, and I'm not going to belabor on this too long, but at the end of the day, there's an opportunity for us to get the street striping for $10,000. That's so unfortunate that we had to go through all the rhetoric of the board action when we could have just had the opportunity to get our street stripe, which we deserve to have done. So when you authorize the city manager to have her spending allowance, just because it's there doesn't mean she's going to use it. I haven't seen the opportunity of abuse or misuse of yet. Actually, I've seen due diligence. So I put it on the agenda, and I'll let the board decide on it. But just for a point of clarity, I want to make sure that you are fully informed. That's the reason why.
I really don't think that it's right that our tax dollars are spent in that kind of way. If there's the streets being striped or anything being done to the street, we have a six-member board. It should be brought here and discussed here so we can hear what is going on instead of you and the village manager and whoever else having conversation as to how to spend $25,000. If the streets are going to be striped, which you said they were going to be done, the streets were going to be repaired, you said that.
Absolutely.
And so now you want to use that as a reason to bring in $25,000 for the village manager to spend at will per transaction? I don't think our dollars. My husband and I don't make that kind of money.
Okay.
To be spent like that. I don't think it should be done.
Okay.
And the board needs to table this because first of all, that is a transaction. This here should be discussed with the new coming trustees. Not with the old ones,
Okay.
but with the new trustees that are coming on now. Why? I asked you then, last meeting, why are you trying to get things done like this? Why not wait? You're in the lame duck session. Why not wait until the new trustees come in and then they can think as a board?
Okay, well, Ms. Morgan, great points. Thank you for your comments and your observation. If that's all, we'll continue to move forward because we had one item before that because you had actually changed your meeting before that. Thank you so much. So the first item that we had on discussion was item 5.1A. Does everybody have the questions fulfilled with Greenfields? Yeah. We good with Greenfields? Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll move that on. And then item 5.1B. Discussion increasing the village manager's spending authority from $5,000 to the state standard of $25,000 per transaction. Questions?
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Trustee Thompson. Absolutely.
Okay, so the state statute doesn't exactly say that it's required. It says if authorized by a vote.
Yes, I know.
You said it was required. That's not true. So then also you said that something about board rhetoric. I think that's an inflammatory remark. It is our responsibility to seriously consider every matter that concerns this village. It's not rhetoric. That just is saying it's just you should apologize to us for that.
Well, I don't have an apology for you, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's fine.
And I appreciate your opinion, and that's cool because it's up to, and it's
And
discretionary.
it's not a requirement.
Not a requirement.
And this is a small town, and some of the other towns that do have, their village managers have more money to spend without asking anybody any questions, have much more to be responsible for. That is my comment.
All right, thank you. Trustee Williams?
I like to comment to it. I understand that we are a small community. I understand that we are a small community. Can you all hear me now?
I'm not asking them questions.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. I do recognize we are a small community, but when something happens like a pipe burst or the furnace goes out, it's not based on the size of the community. It's based on the size of the job. And I know for a fact that she had problems at the golf place, and there was money that needed to be delegated for that. There was not enough. That means she got to wait a whole nother month or whatever to get enough money to pay somebody for an emergency. So I can see that it should be raised. 5,000, I don't know where that came from. I think when Miss E was here, it may have been even 10,000 or something. But I know, beg your pardon?
Okay, so
Okay, but I do think it. But after doing her research and finding out Moni, Richmond Park, and other, as long as she can produce receipts and be accountable for where the money is going, I don't have a problem with it being increased. I just want accountability, transparency, and to make sure we have enough to keep our community afloat. 5,000 in this age does not do much. You call a repairman already, he's charging you to come in your door. Then he's charging you to access that. Then he's charging to fix it. Then he's charging for labor and parts and things. So 5,000 for a community, that's peanuts. Let's be serious.
Is this interactive or?
That's why we're here. That's why this meeting is taking place.
okay.
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 Right, I agree with you.
Miss, no more, no questions. I don't have no. If you didn't sign up for the public comments, but it's on the next meeting, so we're not gonna. I'm not acknowledging you right now. Okay, well let these people finish first, Miss Lawson. And if you didn't sign your name or didn't come to the podium, okay. All right, Trustee Williams, you finish?
Again, and I agree with you, but I think we got to look at it a little bit deeper, understand tariffs and everything that's happening in our world today. Things are constantly changing, and we do need to take all that into consideration. That's the purpose of us having the meeting of the whole. And I'm done for that.
Thank you, Trustee. Anybody else?
I would like to make a comment. With all due respect, no matter if you're in Polo with less than 3,000 residents, or you run a city that's 100,000, the price of a generator is not going to be less or more based on population. I recently had a situation in Village Hall where the employees were out of heat in the dead of winter, and Chris can testify to this. It took 4.5 months because they needed an initial deposit to order the rooftop. Then once they got it in, they needed the second installment, and then they needed the final payment. So it took, literally, they turned in the invoice, they just missed the cutoff date, so then it had to go to the following month. Then once that got approved, for a week later, the check was cut and sent to them. Then we had to wait another month for the next board meeting. So literally, employees were cold, they were in their coats, some employees went home, and this doesn't make sense. I'd also like to add that I'm the lowest in the state that I found. I just want to say Park Forest, Monique, 25,000, 25,000. Thornton, 20,000. Highland Park, they're around 25,000. Oak Brook is 25,000. Glen Ellen is 35,000. Elmhurst is 50,000. Buffalo Grove is 50. Peoria is 45,705. Mattison, Anthony Burton, it's 25,000. Glencoe's 25,000. Homewood is 20. So they're all generally around, the average is 20 to 25,000. As we stated before with the tariffs, everything, I can't get anything done with $5,000. I am very fiscally responsible. I have put in policies and procedures in place, and also just so that there's oversight, more than 1, 2, 3 eyes looking on financials, which were never done before. We've paid bills since I've been here. The first winter we did not. I'd only been here for 5 months. Every winter after that, we have paid bills. So I've heard a lot of things thrown around, and it's simply not true. We have generator issues. Police and fire can attest to that. We've been trying to get this done for months. But the generator's $80,000. So we've had no electricity over there at times. There have been times when the system's down, and I have to work with $5,000. What manager runs a city with $5,000? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Trustee Brooks?
Yes, Ms. Scott, you already said it, but let me just say, first of all, this had nothing to do with you. It didn't start with you. Actually, it started almost 10 years ago when there was approximately about $10,000 that they were free to spend. And we seen all type of misspendage of the money, such as, I think I told you, the farm, that porch. Somehow little projects like that was being done and outsourced, where that porch somehow was done $9,900. You know, those type of things were happening. So I know that you named off a lot of those towns and the spendage, but let me also say that also those towns did not lay off 7 police officers and so forth back in 2016, and we still working with a skeleton crew. So my second question though, Ms. Scott, if you can help me with this, if you can just point out, I know I'm looking at the Illinois compiled statute. I want to make sure I'm not misreading this, but most of it will be dealing with bids. Am I correct?
That is correct, and the department heads will tell you I always request 3 bids when possible. There are times when there's a specialized something and I can't get 3 bids, but as a general rule of thumb, I do prefer to get 3 bids. Not only that, but if you look on the website, you will see more RFPs than you've ever seen before. So we are putting out RFPs. For example, when we did the deck at the golf course, that went out for RFP. So everything is done in proper form with me.
Because I collected everyone kind of train of thought when we started talking about the financing. I think we even mentioned at the last board meeting, we use a company instead of having one finance director. We spend sometimes in 2 months what we could pay in 1 month's salary, 1 year's salary for a finance person. And so that's one issue I think we need to start taking into consideration when we start speaking about the amount of money that's leaving out the pockets of the residents. So with the bids though, Ms. Scott, the one reason why I mentioned, like for instance, that porch at the farm, will it be situations where you take out 10,000, that you think the board should be notified on?
Absolutely. And everything checks, everything gets run through, so the board still sees everything. Also, I wanted to add, the bank statements are in the Dropbox. I just checked again. For the past 2 years, every single bank statement is in there. It's redacted. And also, The Amazon credit card bills are in there, so there is complete transparency. Nobody had to take me to court. They asked me for the for the bank statements going back to July of, I believe it was June or July when the new board came on, and I said, I'll do you one better, and I went back to January. So I have put them in there. The bills also are now being printed back for everyone to see, so that if for some reason people don't have access to look at the bills, they can still see them printed out.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Brooks, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if Attorney Frazier, can you help me with, because I just turned to my colleague, I want to make sure, I know we're talking about raising a threshold, but also if the village manager needs $25,000, she can get $25,000. But according to this ordinance, is more dealing with bids, but the state statute seems like it's more dealing with bids, but our ordinance is more of authorization of 25,000, period.
But she can't circumvent state statute as far as like it's
Stop
not working.
yelling out. Here, Felicia.
Oh, it is now. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. But if there's statute that require, if like for construction projects, if you have that, she can't circumvent that. But this is for those situations in which, let's say if something goes out over at the village and she needs to make a purchase, and just because I understand everyone's saying like this isn't some of the other towns, and I do get that every town is different, but the board, you all would then be responsible for monitoring how she's spending, if she's not spending it correctly. So it isn't as if you don't have eyes on what she's doing, and I think that it just gives the village more leeway, or gives her more leeway, as opposed, if there's an emergency that does arise and something does come up where it's the dead of winter and, let's say people are sitting over and they don't have heat, then she just has the authority to do that. But to answer your question, which I hope I did, is if there's like a construction project and it requires bidding, then she can't, that doesn't allow her to go around that.
For example, I need an ice maker. I can't even buy an ice maker for the golf course because it's over $5,000. So what do? It's under 10. And they won't even place the order till they get the check. So do we close the golf course for 2 months till it goes before the board, 1 month, and then the next month they cut the check?
Well,
Trustee Brooks,
I was going to say, golf course is already closed, but
the season begins.
yeah. Listen, I think.
It's not closed.
Okay, I hear you. My only concern is that I hear Manager Scott with her point of view, but also I still have my concerns. One of the concerns is that, and it still doesn't direct towards you, Ms. Scott. I think it's just going to have to take history of trust in this village, that when it comes down to village managers asking for us to raise the threshold, I just kind of, that's probably part of one reason people may not want me up here, is because memory falls short the more newer trustees you get. And I'm here to remind you that there was a point where we had to lower the threshold because at some point we get out of hand when it comes to the spending. And that is the only thing that I conflict. And then two, when I look at the ordinance, we already do 3 bids on certain items. I just feel, and I did hear someone say, call a special meeting. I just wish that we have more items that we feel that we need to get done right away before we start saying that this needs to be taken care of ASAP. What's outside the ice maker, Ms. Scott? What is pressing right now that you feel you may need this right away?
I need to order supplies like flags, stakes. I have to order just equipment. They order blades, just different things for the course. So we're getting ready to order in bulk because we have to get ready to open. We're trying to open next week. And even some of those invoices are just a little over 5,000. I don't even always approve everything that's 5,000. So just because I have the authority to approve something doesn't mean I always meet that.
So Attorney Frazier, but that wouldn't fall under this one, right? We're still saying she would spend. So I guess I guess the way I'm reading the statute is more contractual, dealing with more contracts than dealing with spending. Am I correct on this? Because that's what I guess I'm being a legal nerd here. Because from what I'm reading on the state statute, yes, for the bids, and of course, naturally we would see it, but we're talking about such as like right now, she need flags, she need these other things. I'm just trying to figure out how does it fall exactly under this statute, under the Illinois compiled statute. How would it?
It's just saying that she has the authority, she would then have the authority to spend up to that amount without getting the prior approval of the board. So you're pretty much saving time, because like she's saying, if she's getting the golf course ready and, you know, she doesn't have right now, like all the items that have to be purchased that are going to be over $5,000, then, you know, now it's a delay in maybe opening or having the things that you need to have a great opening, or, you know, because she doesn't have spending authority over $5,000.
Okay. And I know it sounds like Trustee Fulcher is ready to start talking, but I'm just going to kind of. Okay. Yeah, I heard. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to make it a point that I know we can. Well, I don't see the bank accounts, but I know she said it's in the Dropbox or something. But I do want to make a point that I would feel a little comfortable. I know. Chris, you at what, December as far as the monthly spendage? Yeah. Okay, so we're still 4 months out. You know, I just would like us to at least demonstrate that we're way better than, well, we are doing better, but also at the same time, people are frowning because, again, you know, if we don't have a finance person, and we know we're looking for one, but also at the same time, we're spending $30,000-$40,000 a month just for someone to take care of the finances alone. So, you know, those are my opinions, and I yield my time.
Okay, Trustee Brooks mentioned the barn, which over there we had $750,000 budget. That barn should have never crumbled the way it did. I remember the porch needing fixing, needing to be revamped, reconstructed. We did the bids. We get somebody to come in, and the work was shoddy. The work was awful. We're back to square one. We constantly have no checks and balances. All that money wasted year after year. $750,000 for something that's deplorable now. But no one said anything. I screamed at that mic. I talked about it. I hated when they let those police officers go. Why let 7 police officers go and you bring someone over that's a director of Parks and Rec and give them a job that they may not even be qualified for? So we have to be more conscientious of our spending, and she has proven time and time again with reports, with Chris, where the money is going to. So if she's going to be given this allowance, I'm sure she's going to make sure every check, every dot, every tittle is there, because she's done that so far. This village, usually during the winter months, don't even have money to pay the people. They passing the peas like they used to do. We finally got a neck bone in there, maybe even a steak, because she has made sure we have the checks and balances, and we now are not in the red. Thank you, Jesus. So if 25,000 is gonna help her move this village forward for an emergency, because we don't know when emergencies happen. They just do. A couple of years ago, the pipe burst in here. We had to pay, I don't know how much for the deductible to get it fixed. So yes, I agree. I think that that's acceptable, and I think she's doing a fine job with the finances, and until something or someone proves otherwise, I think she should be able to get that amount.
Mrs. Morgan.
All right, okay, so,
But you were for Keith.
okay, so I want to point out that the statute that was provided to us does not relate to anything about the village manager giving 25,000 purchasing power. There is no such statute, okay? There is no such statute. This statute that was provided says purchasing and public works contracts in municipalities of less than 500,000. This statute is only talking about the contracts and bids within public works. There is no state statute saying that there is a purchasing limit on what a village manager should spend. So if you read through it, just like what Trustee Brooks was pointing out, it's bids and contracts. It is not have anything to do, you don't even say the village manager or the president or anything. Only thing this has to do with is purchasing and public works contracts in municipalities of less than 500,000. So there is no state statute. So let's take that off the plate. Second, University Park is a home rule form of government. So we are allowed to govern whatever laws and ordinances that we want. Originally, the purchasing expense amount was at $10,000. And then because of like Trustee Brooks was stating, a lot of the stuff that was happening, a lot of things were being paid for, that current board didn't know anything about it. That was about 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago. So during that time period, what they did is change that ordinance and said they moved it down to $5,000. That was about 8 years ago. So the village manager just said that she's the only village manager that works with $5,000. That's not true. We didn't have 3 village, this is the third or fourth village manager that has been working here in University Park with a $5,000 limit. It can happen, it's been happening. Also, you just stated that, it was stated that there's a lot of stuff that has happened, all this of finances and all, we got money and all that type of stuff. All of that happened with the $5,000 spending limit. It does not need to be 25,000. It doesn't need to be 10,000. It can still remain at 5,000 because it's been functioning just as fine throughout these past 8 to 10 years. Okay. The other thing is the village manager has the power already to make emergency purchases. So it's being deceptive to say that I got to make these emergency purchases and I can't. That's not true. The village manager has the right to make emergency purchases.
Only up to 5,000.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not up to 5,000. Anything. It is not up to 5,000. You can make emergency purchases. The other thing is we do not have our village ordinance in this packet, which we should have. The clerk is not here because I was going to address that with her. We should have had our original ordinance that was back then, and then also it should show the repeal, the changes that occurred about 8 years ago. So we should not be creating a brand new resolution or ordinance because we already have one out there. So what we need to do is go back to the one that we already have and work off of that. It was still at the 5,000, but we at least should have had that in our packet. That's the other thing. If there is different purchases that the village manager needs to do that just needed, she can always go and request to the mayor to have a special meeting. Special meetings can happen anytime. You don't have to wait a whole month, 2 months, like you were saying, even at the golf course, what was that, the air conditioner or something went out, you made an emergency purchase. You didn't check with us first. at the golf course, when things was happening with the flooding and all that type of stuff, there was some type of, if you didn't, that's on you, because you should know what your responsibilities is, and you can make emergency purchases.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
There's a process. I can't just go purchase. You are incorrect with that.
You can make emergency purchases.
Where does it say that? And what is the amount?
I'm not going to go back and forth with you because I'm still
Because you
talking.
don't have it.
But just like you provided this fake, just like it
Can I
was
say
provided. Hold on, because I'm still talking.
I'm sorry. No.
Okay,
I'm not
I'm
gonna
still
interrupt the trustee.
talking.
I'm sorry. No, I thought she was.
So just like you tried to throw this fake state statute in here, that's not true. Okay. Again, that's what I'm stating. So emergency purchases can be done, and I can pull that up because I do my research. What I'm saying is not saying something out of the blue, and you all know that. I already checked into this. I already know about it. So for them to keep saying, oh, we need emergency, I got to do this emergency, the village manager has the right to make emergency purchases. She's still going to have to reach out to us. There's no way, if there was a big catastrophe, that she's going to hold on to it and just say, oh, I got to wait until a whole month before I can put a cover up this big hole in a wall. No way. So that is not true. Like I said, it's 3 minutes. The previous ordinance, where is that? I think this needs to be put to the side until we receive that. The clerk is not here to address that. Again, this is a homeroom form of government, and we're talking about the 5,000. Again, we've been functioning on, the village manager that has been here has been functioning on $5,000 as the spending limit for about 10 years. So it happens, and it could continue to happen. There's no way that we need to move it up to 25,000. Talk about transparency, we just getting some transparency. So why would we even make that change back to say, okay, give me 25,000 spending limit, when originally, 15, 20 years ago, it was only 10,000. I understand things change, but there is no need for that. So those are my statements.
All right, thank you, Trustee Thompson. And the best way to do this is we're going to use democracy, and we'll decide whether we're going to move forward after Trustee Thompson. Trustee Lewis, you had something? We got a lot of things to do tonight, so let's continue. Yes, Trustee Thompson.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So, yes, we can monitor the spending, but it's always after the fact. And we have 2 meetings a month where we can address problems. So to me, it's not a problem of being able to get money. It's a problem of a lack of maintenance, and a lack of planning. We don't even have a strategic plan. We don't even talk about what are the major things that we need to do. So if we maintain everything we have, we know when the heating is about to go out. Of course, we can have an emergency. But if we plan ahead for the emergency, then we won't have like hair on fire type situations. If we had a strategic plan, maybe some of the emergencies can be avoided. We need to be more proactive instead of reactive with good planning.
Okay.
I yield.
Thank you. Trustee Lewis?
I don't think she was talking about emergencies. She's talking about when she needs to purchase equipment, like when the air conditioning unit went out at the golf course. By the time she got the 3 quotes, the price had already moved when we came back to the board to vote on it. She had a grant in place to do that, but we didn't vote on it. We voted it down. Giving her $25,000, we all up here, 6 trustees, can definitely watch how she's spending the money. We're very responsible. Everybody's digging. You all are watching. You're asking questions. I don't think she's going to go off the reins with $25,000 just to be saying, well, I'm the village manager. I got the pen. I can strike. I don't think that's the purpose of what she's doing. She's been physically responsible with everything that's in the Dropbox, with all the bank accounts. Everything you've asked for, she's given, along with Mayor Bali. Whenever you all want a statement or something, Chris can bring that to a board meeting and give it to us. I think $25,000 is okay, because there are a lot of things that are broken in this village that needs to be fixed. There has been no maintenance in this town ever. Giving her the authority to do that, we all can watch her. Everybody goes to that village hall and talk to her. and talk
You-
with her.
you-
They have meetings with her.
Don, you got your mic on still?
We gonna work on it.
Yes.
So I think 25,000 is not out of the range for her to be responsible. I think we all got eyes. I got 4 over here. Theo got 4 too. Jill got 4. Gina got 4. Janelle got 4. We all can watch this, and we have the attorneys who's making sure that we are understanding the statutes and the laws. She didn't say emergency. She just said when it happens. We don't have a date when we know the heat's gonna go out or the street gonna cave in. We don't know. Cassandra Drive is a mess right now. Literally a mess. So I think it's okay. That's just my point of view.
Okay, well, I tell you what, we've had a long conversation, we've had debate. Are we gonna move this forward? Trustee Thompson? Trustee Brooks? Fulcher?
No.
The Williams? Lewis? McFadden? All right, it move on to the next agenda. The mayor says go on to the next agenda for voting. Thank you so much for the conversation. And you know what? It's just like some of these policies. Most of the time that you have it, you don't use it anyway. Most of the time that you have the opportunity, you don't use it anyway. So it's good to have it and not use it. But it's horrible to need it and don't have the opportunity to use it. So, all right, we good with that. So, are there any more public comments regarding this, or is this all for the next agenda? Because we're at the turning point and the closing point. So all these questions, okay. David Sevier? Wait a minute, I said David Sevier.
She said for this one. She talking about for this
Yeah, that's he said Sevier signed for this one.
one.
I'm going by the list. David Sevier, Star Lawson.
I didn't see you had. We still on the cow.
I was really just sitting back and listening to what you all had to say.
We can't hear.
You can pick the microphone up as well.
I just was really listening to what you all had to say from that standpoint regarding this. Hello. It's on, so I don't know what's wrong. It's on, right? You hear me? You hear me? Okay, look, it's the dollar amount is not important as to what you all decide to do. The issue becomes is that as a village manager, you do have the authority for emergency purposes for health reasons, safety concerns, and there's one more out there. So you do have the ability to make emergency purchases. So that's not a non-fact, that's not fictional, that's the truth. Because if it's a health concern, you have the authority to make that decision. So it's not emergency purchases. And then I'm listening to two things. The $25,000 that she's requesting is to increase her authority to make purchases. It's not to increase her salary. It's not adding money to her payroll. It's to allow her to do A, B, C, D, F, G. But she already has that authority already in terms of emergency purchases. I don't see a need for you to purchase something that's not an emergency over $5,000. Don't know, once again, it's not about the person. It's not about the dollar amount. It's the reality of the situation. Those 3 reasons, the village manager has authority to make emergency purchases. And that will always be the case regardless of where you're at. Any organization, if it is an emergency regarding health safety, regarding safety matter, and there's one other one I can't think of off the top of my head right now, those 3 reasons automatically gives her that authority to do whatever she needs to do in order to rectify that situation in an emergency. For example, if that fire truck was to go down, or if that ambulance was to go down, and we could not service these people, that's considered an emergency situation. You think she's gonna wait to get a replacement ambulance in here, or to call the neighboring community and tell them that we need to have them over here, and we may have to rent an emergency ambulance from that standpoint? Those are emergency situations. Those are health concerns. So I don't really understand why it's on the agenda, but once again, I'm just saying it's not a necessity, but that's trying to stay out of it.
Thank you. Good evening, board. I just wanted to address this because when you pass a budget, that kind of serves the purpose of having that 5,000 in place so that we can stay in place of our budget. Spending must correspond to the authorized budget lines. And anytime the village manager needs to spend additional money over 5,000, it should be with consent of the board members. Budgets are generally considered a binding plan for controlling expenditures. So any deviation from the plan requires legislative action. From my knowledge of procedures, the board should hold the village manager accountable for any unauthorized spending of village funds. And I would hope that the statements that have been made in reference to the village manager are true. I hope those statements are true. But we cannot, based on our history, make a statement such as, there's no way this village manager could do such and such. Things happen just like emergencies happen. And so we must be diligent about how we are giving authority and authorized use of the taxpayers' money. So I would think that as board members, you would take into consideration the taxpayers. Thank you.
Time we can introduce our new chiefs, fire chief, and our new officers. Absolutely.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
From those present, those viewing, just to remind myself, I do get the opportunity of talking for general public comments at the end of the meeting, right?
This is it.
Okay. All right. Everything's been flurrying so much. Okay. F1C.
We didn't get to that.
We haven't gotten to that. So you want to reserve your comments?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I'll make it quick. So I just wanted, so Trustee Fulcher, with respect to the statute, it doesn't guarantee that she gets that amount. It just, what the statute, under a village manager form of government, you guys, it allows you to decide what her spending authority it is. That's all it is. And I do believe that the amount she's giving is because that's what surrounding towns are doing. Additionally, nobody is saying she doesn't have emergency authority. When I'm speaking of emergency, I'm talking about if she needs to get things done at the golf course. So while, no, it may not be an emergency, it delays maybe the opening or an event because of that. So while I don't want it to be viewed as trying to be sneaky or not being truthful, you guys get to decide what her spending authority is, and she's asking for that because I know it is commensurate with some surrounding towns. Additionally, regardless of her emergency spending authority, there are things that are going to happen where it may not be necessarily an emergency, but it's something that would definitely be more efficient for her to be able to have that authority to spend without waiting for the next board meeting. Because as a village manager form of government, as you know, and maybe some residents don't, she is responsible for the day-to-day, making sure that she's defraying the cost. So if, like Trustee Lewis said, by the time it came to the board, there was something that had increased in price. If she has certain spending authority, then she doesn't have that. So I'm just telling you, I just wanted to clarify that because I didn't want that to be a misunderstanding. So thank you.
I just wanted to just
thank you
quick
so much.
response. That was true. The reason why the statute was brought up because it's a part of the packet, and this is the reason why she's felt that it was necessary to be to statute, Illinois state statute. So that was brought up by the village manager. So this is not something that I just brought up. This is what was put into the packet, but this statute has nothing to do with the village manager's 25,000 spending limit. That's what I'm stating, that this has nothing to do with what the request is.
Okay. All right, thank you. May I have a motion for adjournment? We take a 5-minute recess. We'll go to our regular board meeting. Is there a motion for adjournment? Moved by McFadden.
Second.
Second by Thompson. All in favor? Opposed by the same sign? None? Thank you so much. 5-minute recess and we'll start right away. Yeah, for the swearing in. Yes. 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 You'll see in a second. Meeting is now called to order. Trustee Thompson, are you ready for the recording? Trustee Lewis?
I'm ready.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Lewis, President accounted for. Trustee McFadden.
Present.
Trustee Fulcher.
Present.
Trustee Brooks.
Present.
Trustee Thompson.
Present.
Trustee Williams.
Here.
Mayor Rudez.
I'm present. We're going to do it one more time, guys. Stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, guys. See, we might as well get on our feet. We're going to read this resolution, go to the podium. Item F1A is a resolution approving the appointment of Thomas DeGanga as fire chief by the village manager. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Lewis. Second by McFadden. Roll call. Trustee Lewis, please.
1 second. Trustee Lewis votes aye. Trustee McFadden.
Votes aye.
Trustee Fulcher.
Votes aye.
Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes aye.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez.
Votes aye. Okey doke. So, yeah, we're going to go to the podium, Chief. Let's swear you in, sir. No, that's the oath.
Thank you.
Thomas DeGanga. All right, let's go. Where's your missus? Oh my goodness, it's actually real, man. The way you used to talk about her and all the good compliments, you never thought it was a real person. So, congratulations. All right. Police and Fire Commissioners, please join us. All right, I'm usually not the one that's doing this, but I got the authority to, and the clerk usually does this. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I have been duly appointed to the office of Fire Chief in the village of University Park, counties of Will and Cook, Illinois. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Fire Chief according to the best of my ability. All right, come on. Right here.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Fire Chief according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God. Thank you and congratulations, Chief. Turn around. You want to call you guys on up? Come on up. I'm going to get that photo. It's good to see the young generation stepping up. We can depend on you guys. You're right. You're right.
Because next is
Okay, item F. Okay. No, just take your time. Because we might. Don't leave. Get a family picture. The red button, Jewel?
I'm sorry, can I put you back on?
Yeah. Trustee Williams, you might as well come on back. Now we got the police officer. Guys, come on, we got the police officer. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's why we're going to the podium. I'm going to do it right here. No, we ain't got a motion on this. No, because we don't hide on the police officer. Police or fire police. All we got to do is swear them in. All right, next item on the agenda will be item F1B, which is our ceremonial swearing in of police officer Rodney Montgomery to the University Park Police Department. He was actually sworn.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you.
where my police and fire commissioners, because thank you guys for finding such a phenomenal young officer. We applaud your efforts, Mr. Martin, Commissioner Greer. See, that's what I was going to say. All right, we're going to do this just like they did. We're going to raise your right hand, and we're going to repeat after me, all right? I, Rodney Montgomery, having been duly appointed to the office of police officer in and for the village of University Park, counties of Will and Cook, Illinois, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of police officer according to the best of my ability. Congratulations, sir. All right, let's give them. Thank you again, police and fire commissioners, for your due diligence. I know we be delayed and denied on some things, but the whole goal is to ensure that our residents are safe. Thank you. That's a very good hire. Yeah, you can bring your family up. Bring your family up. Yeah. Okay. Yes, ma'am. It's on the other page. I'm kind of discombobulated. Oh, yeah. I'm sure they are. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. In the back to the right. You about to see him in a second. All right, let's continue our meeting. Again, congratulations are in order. Item F1, item F. Are there any comments regarding the items on the agenda? Because they all did them on the first one. No, that was actually on the 7 o'clock sign in. Yeah, that's what I'm at. Yeah, that's what I am. Yes, go ahead. No, they had a public comment for agenda item. I didn't ask that question before we did the swearing in.
Good evening. My name is Elaine Nesbitt. I am the president of the University Park Professional Firefighters Local 3661. We wanted to comment on 2 agenda items tonight. First, this union wants to give our full support and congratulations to Chief Stiganga. We are so proud of you and look forward to the future you're going to bring to this fire department, this village, and the residents. With that being said, we also want to comment on the agenda item again, where the village would like to repeal the ordinance of promoting from within. Chief Stiganga is a prime example of why this ordinance needs to stand. He has been here 17 years. He has served this community with honor and distinction, along with all of these firefighters you've seen tonight. These men and women give their lives, their families, and their bodies to this community. They deserve the chance to be in that position one day. They deserve to be heard. These employees deserve respect that they have gotten from the community and that they give. And we would appreciate you not repealing this ordinance and let these gentlemen have a chance to earn the spots in this community that they have so longingly wanted. That's why they come here. That's why we do what we do. We are in and out of your homes every day, fighting for the residents of this community, keeping everyone safe, and being pillars in this community for public safety. And it's time we would like, as employees, to have respect given back to us. So please do not repeal this ordinance. Once again, thank you, Chief Stiganga. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much for your comments. And you know what? I'm just going to have a small response, and I'm just going to read some statements that I have prepared. So, first of all, I believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Although the national government under Donald Trump may see things differently, my core beliefs have not wavered, and I will do everything in my power as mayor to see that everyone has an opportunity to serve the community. The repeal of this ordinance will allow the village to hire outside of our fire department to find the best qualified applicants to serve. At present, our fire department has no one African American or Hispanic firefighters and just one female firefighter. Repealing this internal hiring policy allows me to move the fire department a step closer to proper integration. So that is the reason why you see that on the agenda. So is there a motion? No, wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm still got, yeah, thank you. Sure. Thank you so much. Next public comment. Wait a minute. Yeah. That was it. Donna. Deborah J. Stroud. Yes. Ms. Deborah J. Stroud.
Good evening again, everybody. Under F1C, pardon? Can you please fix this? Under F1C, what happened to the current collector? Under F1D, why repeal what is in place already? And under F1F, when the streets start getting paved, and I understand that the AC at the closed golf course is needed, but when the streets start getting paved, when will the streets start getting paved if the village manager authority is increased to 25,000, since that was part of the conversation that authority is needed to get things. I think it was referenced by you that the streets are in need of attention. We all know that. There are other things in the community in need of attention. We all know that. So my question is, if this authority is provided tonight, when will those things start being attended to?
I don't have the answer, but I know the streets are going to get done, and the spending allowance, there's two separate, completely different things. The streets are a different project, so you're never going to get a street done for $25,000. Let's get that record straight.
No, sir, not that. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase my question.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood you.
When will, once the authority is provided, when will the action occur that we're all looking to occur with the authority of the, I think someone said something about the bids and so forth. Did I hear that correct?
The bids and stuff already happened.
Pardon?
I believe that's already happened.
There were so many people talking. I apologize for my confusion, but I'm just asking for a time frame, actually, of when things will start happening.
Actually, the streets are out for bid right now.
Thank you. We're all happy to hear that.
We already did.
Manager Scott, I'm sorry, were you about to say something and I interrupted you?
I was just gonna say that the process for the streets is totally different from the spending authority. Those are just for minor, like day-to-day purchases, not emergency purchases. However, the streets all go out for bid. There's engineering phases. Once they have that together, we put them out. So we did get the procurement back for Sandra Drive. That was approved by the board. I had to do that contract myself because I was waiting for the clerk to get it back to me. So that is slated to begin, I believe, in September, but I'll get the exact time as we get closer.
All right, thank you. I'll see you at the end.
You're quite welcome.
Okay.
All right. Mildred Morgan. Wait a minute, didn't you ask the question, the last question? But come on, come on. No, you signed, yeah, but you signed it for this agenda. But okay, go ahead, go ahead. This will be our last public comment. Didn't you just speak at the last one?
Remember, that's a separate meeting. He loves
Okay, okay. Because I only have is one sign-in sheet.
That's it.
Okay.
I don't know which one to go to because you got a couple of sheets here, but I see where F1C, just like Ms. Stroud just asked, what's happening with the collector?
Plans are to appoint one this evening.
Say what?
The plans are to appoint one this evening.
Okay, but she was so helpful to you. She's done so much for you, waited on you hand and foot. She's waited on everybody in this whole village. One of the nicest people here, her and her mom. And you're getting rid of her? That's what I see here, because I know how you operate. But we're talking about causing her not to have an insurance, not having a job. And I see who you're bringing back here. It's no wonder we're always in an uproar with each other because of the confusion that you keep constantly starting. It's you that does this. First of all, you won't wait until the next board come in. You want to get it in, right? Janelle? Want to get it in while you got the right people in. So you can hear I. Right, Gina? Yeah, I know. That's the only thing you know how to say. When it comes to Mr. Rudash. Mr. Rudash, you're wrong. You're wrong in the way that you operate in this village. And I don't like it. I thought you was a real decent person at one time. But since you've been in office, like others, it's just something about our power, a couple of dollars, that just turns you all real bad. And it's bad for us. We're the residents and we suffer because we see people get hurt. Everything's all right on 1302 Reef Farm Road. But I hate to see others be hurt by you all. I hate to see others be hurt.
Thank you so much for your comments. Star Lawson. Oh, you're next.
Good evening again, Board. I want to speak in reference to F1C. Presented for your consideration and approval is a resolution appointing John Pate as the village collector. Now, let me speak to the board. May I remind you that John Pate served as our village manager, as well as our safety police / chief. Go back in the record, review the history. Pate was not honest while he served this village. Perhaps the village manager, Scott, is not aware of that history. To bring in someone who harmed us and to bring him back to our village is an egregious act. You should look at that history. John Pate, at one time, on Nextdoor, lied about his resume. And I brought it to his attention, and he quickly took it down. That was being dishonest with us as residents. There is history there that you need to review, trustees. Don't be bamboozled by John Pate. There's more to this than meets the eye. I really want you to think serious before you make a vote to bring him back to our village where he harmed us. I really want you to think seriously about that. Do not make that mistake again. John Pate had us paying for everything, paying for his education, paying for his medical, things that we should not have been paying for after he was long gone. We were still paying. I want to remind you of this. That is one of the reasons why we can't seem to get our village okay. We can't even have flowers, but we had a village manager who fooled us into paying for his education.
That's it.
I want you to think about it, trustees, and look at that history.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Lawson.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Absolutely. Mr. Sevier?
I too am speaking on item F1C. During our budget meetings, we talked about having this position eliminated. We were, as it was explained to us, that position really does not do that much. And based on the fact that the majority of the collection activity is done at the front desk, and that those reports can be ran off those cash those cash reports in the front and given to her to put into a spreadsheet. Other than that, there's no function for that position. When this position was created, it wasn't created for someone to sit down and collect and keep a spreadsheet on the collection activity that's being done, because that was being done based of a push of a button to get those reports out of the system. So when we talked about this at these budget meetings that we talked about asking to have this position removed, and the village manager did tell us that that may be a fight because it was not her decision, but as I told her, we would like for this to come to the board and let them know that we wanted to eliminate this position. So now that I see that you are doing a reappointment of the position, I am asking that as a member of that finance committee, which we agreed on as a committee, that this position be eliminated from this budget. It is not something that we need in this community, and I hope that you adhere to the individuals who sit on that committee, who's supposed to have some form of input into the things that should happen in this village when it comes to expenses related to this village. And this is one particular position that does not need to be refilled or reappointed for this budget year or any future budget years. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Sevier. All right. Item F1C is a resolution. Well, first, I just want to read a couple of bullet points. The collector's position is an appointed position by the mayor. As the current collector's term is completed, it's my job to hire the best qualified individual to hold the office, and that individual is Mr. John Pate, a former University Park manager and educated at our own Governor State University. Mr. Pate is a former United States Army officer who earned his MBA in management and MS in criminal and social justice studies. His extensive experience just the past 5 years, where he served as village manager and director of public safety for the city of Opelika, Florida, earned him high praise from that local government. Mr. Pate is vetted, qualified, and experienced in the necessary areas of management, finance, and auditing procedures, and I believe he'll be an asset to our village. So as that is being said, there's a motion F1C.
Point of order, Mayor.
Yes, Trustee Brooks, go ahead.
I didn't get a chance, although that probably should have came up after the motion itself, before that was made, but I'm making a motion to table this until the first regular meeting in May.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call, see what the pleasure of the board is. Trustee Lewis, start the roll call, please.
You want to hold it to May.
First regular meeting in May. We can discuss this first regular meeting in May. Janelle's leaving. Sonia Jenkins Bell is coming. We'll have a board. We can have that discussion then.
There's a motion and a second.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I think John will come on and do a good job. I say no. I'm sorry, roll call.
Roll call.
No. Trustee Lewis says no.
You got to do the roll, so you got to call everybody else, Trustee Lewis.
To wait till Sonia come on. Trustee McFadden.
No.
Trustee Fulcher.
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks.
Votes aye.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes aye.
Trustee Williams.
Votes no.
Mayor Rudez.
Votes no. So now with the regular motion, since it's not going to be resolution.
You gotta make the motion.
I need a motion and a second on the resolution now, appointing John Pate as the village collector. Is there a motion?
Can we have a question? We never had a
No,
question.
that was to table. The first motion that
I
trustee.
know, but we never had a question on this second.
We have to do that motion in a
Okay,
second
all
first. All right. Now, is there a motion in the second? Resolution appointing John Pate as the village collector.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by trustee Williams. Roll call, please. With questions.
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Trustee Thompson?
Why would we consider why would you consider appointing someone who has taken from us? And I don't think I can get into the details, but the board knows. Why would you consider that?
I don't.
Now, that's a new one on me. That's a heck of an
That's
allegation.
not new. That's not new.
It's a new one to me, but it's a heck of an allegation.
We discussed it,
Who discussed it?
the board,
Oh,
in a closed session. We did.
I wasn't there then.
Oh, I guess
Okay.
it was just me in here by myself.
When was that?
No, we discussed it, and we can't discuss it in the open meeting, I'm sure. But why would we?
Yes, you can. We can. It's not, that's more criminal than civil, so we can.
Okay,
So
well,
let
why
it
would
come
you
on.
consider appointing someone who did you fire him? Did he get fired?
No.
Okay, then someone who was collecting health insurance on our backs for years. That is dishonest.
The board approved that.
No, we didn't.
No one,
No, we
I
did.
don't
No,
think
I
they
did
did.
not. No,
I
did
would
not.
like to interject something.
Yes.
I really don't like how people on this board forget that John did not leave himself on the insurance. And I don't like that. And people on this
It's not
board,
your job, Ms.
people
Scott.
on this board
You're not his
defended.
attorney.
I will.
You're
People
not
on
his
this board
attorney.
defended the
And you-
actions
and I don't
of
need you to rebut
people on this
any
board
statement I'm
defended the
making.
actions of a director who was doing
I don't
things
need
that
your
were very
correction.
questionable.
I don't need your rebuttal. I made my statement, and I stand right there. Why would you consider appointing someone who has taken from these residents? So what else would he take?
Okay, next comment. Trustee Brooks or Trustee Williams?
No, you go.
Hey, I don't know the whole logistics, but excuse me, but I do know that the former director / finance manager / president of the union and all like that, whatever was being done, we have to point the finger where it should go. There are other people collecting insurance and other things. Is the current collector getting insurance? I'm talking. Is the current one getting insurance, benefits, and those things? Okay. I'm saying that what I know to be true, that former manager Pate was very transparent with us. He had no problem getting on next door as the chief of police and giving us information. I have the texts and the messages. So I'm sorry, Star. We have those. They are next door.
The public comment is over.
Things about the current collector. I know from my personal experience that it wasn't always peaches and cream. It was not. And I hear a lot of stuff behind closed doors, what's going on with that. So I think we need to give, that position was only supposed to be for 4 years. He came in under former Mayor Covington. In 2017, that position, well, it's only 4 years, but in 2017, freshman trustee Brooks, freshman trustee McMullins, they brought her position forward. because at that time, the mayor wanted her more or less gone. They voted not to let her go. My understanding was no one wanted to be a rubber stamp, so they went against the grain. 4 more years has passed. 4 more years has passed. Same person, same operation. We're not seeing all the transparency that we should see. We're not knowing how much head tax, how much this. We're not getting all the numbers that we should be getting. So, excuse me, there are numbers to get with the right person in position. So, I think that it's time for change, and if this person can prove and show us how the job is done, and show us the correct amount of revenue and things, I don't have a problem with that. Excuse me? Okay, I'm saying my truth, sir, just like you said yours. So I don't have a problem with seeing if he can give us the information we need to move the village forward and do the job of a collector the way it should be done. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Trustee,
You've always had a problem with him, Xavier, so let's be clear. You've always had a problem.
Trustee, let's come on, we good. Trustee
You've
Brooks.
always had a problem with him.
Let
but when
me-
he was at his meet and greet, you was all but ready to come across the table at him. Let's be serious.
So let me,
So, Coach, there's no more public comment, so kind of refrain from the audience outburst.
People change their mind. You were his cheerleader for how long? How long? You were Miss Keeley and others cheerleaders for how long? But you changed your mind so nobody else can. When we change ours, it's a problem. Think about that when you go home tonight.
Trustee Brooks.
so
Mrs. Morgan, please.
Whatever I am,
the one
God made
reason
me.
why, thank you, Mayor.
God made me.
Hey, listen. Let's cut the debate. The public comments are over. She's not. She's a governing board member. The public comments are over. Trustee Brooks, please respect the trustees getting ready to speak.
So, Mayor and Board of Trustees, this is my comments. And I heard Trustee Williams made it clear about 2017, and I feel the same way tonight. In 2017, this was the truth. And if Ms. Covington was in here today, like I told her earlier today, get it right if you're going to say something that I did. The reason why Ms. Webb is the collector back then was because I feel personally, because someone win election, you shouldn't be able to come into office and just clear house in this form of government. No matter how you feel about Ms. Webb, at the end of the day, Ms. Webb, if Mr. Pate is voted in tonight, Ms. Webb is walked out off her insurance turns, as well as her $47,000 salary. And that turns over to Mr. Pate. So when Mayor Covington brought it to us, we felt that no, you're just not going to put any old body into that position. That's what it was. It had nothing to do with rubber stamp or nothing, because I really feel that for us to be sitting here talking about those who go into heaven, first thing it does, I'm speaking heaven because that's what I preach, trustee. This had nothing to do with you. No, well, this is Trustee Brooks talking. For those who's always preaching heaven in front of me, first of all, how many of you feed your brother? That's what he's going to ask that question when you close your eyes. And tonight, some of y'all taking food out of Claudia's mouth. That's what's going to happen. And I felt that same way with Mayor Covington. Next, I don't care who gave Mr. Pate the insurance. I just know when it came to me, he received insurance. Now, if he used that insurance over the time span that he wasn't here, he's a law enforcement officer. He knows it's an issue. He knows it's an issue. It wasn't a departing gift from us. And I don't care who was in charge of it, whether it was negligence or not. That's the purpose of James Glasgow's office. And I did inquire about it. I didn't get quite no response to what I was looking for, but I did inquire about it today. Because when it's all said and done, we're not going to keep pointing the finger at one person up there around the noon hour. I did inquire with the state's attorney's office because really, I don't know why we keep sleeping up here that's nothing is happening in this village. Because a lot of people, we keep trying to take everything that's happening as incompetence. It's a whole lot of people up here that know exactly what they're doing, but they're trying to make it look incompetent. And for those things that are incompetent, we're trying to make it look criminal. So tonight I stand on that again. Ms. Webb, she served as the she was doing what Ms. Kim Sanders was doing until the mayor won his reelection. Things changed, we didn't say anything, that's when I seen whoever come through the door and it was someone else. So whatever going on through the mayor's office or whatever she did back then, that was on that. But as far as Mr. Pate returning as the collector, I feel that at some point, you know what? Mr. Savier already did say, because that was the response I got when I did my homework, they're going to eliminate the collector's position anyway. So why are we even in the middle? That's one reason why I was waiting to trustee-elect comes from until so we can have this discussion, because that sits on her. Because apparently tonight, once again, like I said with Elizabeth's contract, somebody done count their eyes. Somebody done count the eyes for him to come through the door tonight, for this to be on the agenda. I don't have nothing against Pate, but I just think right is right and wrong is wrong. And honestly, if there is an investigation in which there was no comment to it, I think it should be told to the board. But I think it's free information that someone can use to understand that this is where we at. If somebody sat up here and used insurance and they knew they weren't supposed to use insurance, but we put them as village collectors, I think that's something that should be ingrained in y'all mind. And that's one reason why I made mention until the first regular board meeting. If it turns out that that's an appointment that the mayor is still going to make, that's fine. If it turned out that he didn't use the insurance, that's fine. But at the end of the day, somebody is collecting $47,000 and he'll be walking through the door tomorrow. And he will be getting insurance from us again.
No,
he's not.
no, he's not.
And also,
What you say, Ms. Scott?
That position should not have insurance, just like the treasurer. And I made it clear that position is not only not paying out insurance, there's no vacation or other benefits.
What about this $47,000?
Other than the salary, that's it.
He would get $47,000?
Yes.
I still think Trustee it should wait until Trustee Sonia Jenkins Bell get up here. Because I mean, it's only fair to her because this is a binding type of agreement until we decide to do something in the budget. Other than that, I ain't got nothing against Pate.
Okay.
Pate knows if I have a problem with him, he can talk to me, I can talk to him. But it was a shocker to me to see this on the agenda. And I yield my time.
Thank you, Trustee
All right.
Brooks. So,
I have,
okay, Don, I'll come to you. But what I just actually heard was a grave concern about someone. But then what I also heard was at budget time they was going to cut that position anyway. So that's what I just heard. That's what I just heard, that they were going to cut that position anyway. So I don't understand the grave concern about individuals and things of that nature if it was the intention to cut the position. Okay, Okay, I just want to make my comment. Trustee Fulcher, go ahead, Donna. I'm sorry.
I wanted to just concur what David Sevier said, because I was at the Finance Committee as well, and it was brought up to say that this position is not needed. The village manager basically stated that what exactly this person did in that position, and it wasn't anything. So that was the question that the Finance Committee had asked, and the village manager stated that really doesn't do anything, as nothing gets done as a collector. There's nothing to do. That was basically similar. I can't go word for word because that was what, last year. I'm just making a statement that yes, it was stated, just like with Chris, you was there and you probably was aware that we did ask, it was stated for the collector position to be removed from the budget, right? Huh? Chris? Yes, okay, so this was a discussion that was made last year to say that the position was not even necessary, but it was the pushback to say, oh, it's gonna be the backfire between, oh, this person is in there, but it's based off of the position. So the position really does not, like the Finance Committee had advised that it should be removed. Also is, Trustee Brooks said he doesn't have a problem with John Pay. I have a problem with John Pay. I have a problem with anybody that works in this village, and once they leave, they knowingly receive health insurance for over 4 years. I'm guessing 3 to 4 years. You had a whole full-time job. You didn't get fired. You actually left on your own, went to a whole nother state, became a village manager somewhere else where I probably was making more than what you was making here, but you were still accepting insurance from University Park. It's regardless of who left it on there, it's the integrity of the person to allow it to continue to happen. So you allowed it to continue to happen for years. And then once it was found out, you had a problem with that they took you off. And it was the back and forth. So why would we allow someone to be our collector that's gonna be collecting money when he basically stole from the residents? Because that's stealing. That's stealing from the residents when you are knowingly receiving health insurance and you working a whole full-time job there. I don't even know if you were getting reimbursements at your other job for health insurance. We don't know that information. But I'm just saying that's dishonest. So why would we put a dishonest person here on this board? It doesn't, a part of this administration. It does not make any sense. You stated as for you're not receiving any information. I receive information from the current collector. I see what the information, she sends it every month. No problem. I never had any problem with this current collector providing me with the information. Huh? There's no such thing as no lifetime insurance. Show me the documents. No, he wasn't fired. He didn't do 20 years. There's no reason why he left on his own and went to a whole nother job. Okay? You're going to a whole nother job. And then you're going to go and sit in that job in another state for years working in a position, but you're getting your insurance paid from your previous job, and you don't say anything or do anything about it, and you're collecting it, and you're going to get your insurance. You're not paying no insurance over there because we are paying us, this village, the residents is paying for his insurance. That is distrustful, that is dishonest, and for anybody to say it's not, I'm just baffled how it's just brush it on the rug because it wasn't him that left it on there. Who cares? He was still receiving it, and he accepted it. That's being dishonest. These are taxpayer dollars. And as in things that was done, yes, he was village manager, he was the police chief, all these type of things. And what did you come into, Ms. Scott? There was a whole lot of issues, right? And it was still a lot of more issues. Nothing was really done except we got some trees cut down. That's it. So I am not for this appointment at all.
You're saying that all I did since I've been here is cut trees down?
I'm not, no, I didn't say you, I said he.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you for the clarification.
All he did was get some trees cut down. But he allowed over $1 million to continue to go out through IRAs. I mean, I could break it down, all the stuff that occurred under his administration. Okay, there's plenty of things that was allowed. RA's got over $1 million to do an audit. We never saw an audit. So if we want to talk about putting him in any type of money, collector position, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So,
Thank you so much.
Well, speaking of RH, that was a board decision, and they voted to keep them. That was a board decision.
it's an excuse. It's always an
because
excuse.
enough
There's always a
people
reason for something. It's a board
voted
decision.
for our trustees that were here. He didn't make the decision. They
I didn't say voting. When you
Right.
allow a company to continue to not show you any information, allow them to do nothing, and you're still sitting there letting them come on in. That's the job of the
okay,
village
here's the
manager,
thing.
is to make sure that whoever is coming in as contractors are doing their job. And he was not, they were not doing their job, and he allowed it
and
to
guess
occur.
who was standing there at that podium going against them? Because the other people in here, me.
I'm not talking about
No,
you.
but
I'm not talking about trustees. I'm not talking about residents. The conversation is about John Pate. I'm not
It is
talking
about
about
John Pate.
anybody
Okay,
else.
I have the floor, and I'm saying that when RH came in, it was a board decision. Many people in this room wanted that forensic audit. They came in, they did a crappy job. I went to their facility. I caught them red-handed having parties and food off of our backs. Yes, they did that. And there wasn't enough people in here because everybody in here was discussing, 22 million came out the tip. Where's the money? Where's the money? But no one stood at that podium like I did and went after that particular company. And they did give us some big giant size phone book with a bunch of papers that didn't mean anything. But everybody wanted an audit, a forensic audit. Now, as for Mr. Pate and this situation, now if I'm not mistaken, money was recouped by the insurance company, Blue Cross, and by some providers. How far they went back, I don't know. But they found out and they went after it. So that was done. It's other people getting insurance and things, but I'm sure everybody's going to be mute when it comes to that subject. So I'm just saying, what's good for one is good for all. Let's be honest. We can't pick and choose, I feel sorry for this person or this person. No, we're going to tell the truth, and let's keep it straight. Let's keep it honest. We're going to do it. We're going to do it right all the way, not just part the way. We ain't going to excuse one person and not excuse the other.
She tells facts, not fiction. So, Miss Trustee Williams.
That's fine. It's not for me. It's attorney.
Mrs. Listen, I've asked you over and over again. She got to go. We've asked you over and over again to stop studying out.
Trustee Williams, you said that some people got some. I didn't catch it.
Too much noise.
Yeah, it was too much noise. You said some people got caught and Blue Cross Blue Shield recoup some money. Okay. Ms. Scott, is that true?
Yes, when I confronted that person who had all those people on the insurance, they did contact Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they tried to go back several months, and they did.
So that was just one individual. That was not a group of individuals, correct?
It was not a group as far as I know.
Because I just wanted to make sure that the subject in hand, that we're not saying that that's not what Mr. Pate or happened with Mr. Pate, correct?
No,
Okay.
the person who used to work here contacted Blue Cross Blue Shield and asked them to go back some time to try to, I guess,
to
rectify
resolve
their issue.
Okay.
And they could only go back so many months.
Okay. I yield my time.
Trustee Brooks. Trustee Lewis, roll call, please. And this is the item F1C resolution appointing John Pate as the village collector. Roll call, please.
Votes aye. Trustee McFadden.
Votes aye.
Trustee Fulcher.
Votes no.
Trustee Brooks.
Votes no.
Trustee Thompson.
Absolutely not.
Trustee Williams.
Votes aye.
Mayor Rudez.
Votes aye for my appointment. Thank you. Item F1D, first, second, and third reading of ordinance repealing appointments for commissions and committees by the Board of Trustees and giving appointment authority back to the mayor. Is there a motion?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
So.
Gotta get a motion in a second.
Sorry.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Question, Trustee Thompson.
Mayor Rudez, you told me yourself you didn't even want committees. You said committees keep up mess. You told me that out of your own mouth. So why would you want to stop us from being able to do work for the people of University Park and help get these committees going and organized? That's a question for you.
Okay, and I'm going to answer you right now. In reality, committee appointments have always been the province of the executive branch.
That's not the question.
No, let me answer you the way I want to answer you because I heard your question fully, okay? Let's be respectful of each other. Committee appointments have always been the province of the executive branch of local government. Repeal of this ordinance allows me to evaluate the individual interests, strengths, and qualifications of each committee chair and committee members to determine who might best serve the community. So when it comes to that, no, I didn't. When I got in office, there were 20 committees and commissions, and they hadn't met for 4 years. They were just political campaign chests, but they've never met for 4 years. The record shows that. So I'm for committees and commission, so don't get it wrong, for things that are producing fruit. Not just to say that this is a committee or commission. I have no problem about community engagement, residents engagement, but just to say you have a committee just to have it, and you got boom, 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 this, you got 12 committees and none of them is meeting and functioning. Look, so that's what it was.
Well, all the people, since you cut me off, all the people since I've been on this board who have applied to be on committees, it went nowhere. Their names are nowhere. I asked for a list. It was an old list from years ago. Some of the people on there were dead.
You guys were in charge of that.
Well, evidently we were not, because the people were applying to be on committees. It went nowhere. Probably at your direction. Yes, I said it.
Oh, well,
because you told me out of your own mouth more than once you did not want committees because that keeps up mess. That's what you said.
I didn't say
verbatim.
I didn't want committees.
You said it.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Everybody's interpretation.
You said it. So you should have really allowed the board members to work on these committees. Don't you have enough else to do with all your millions of dollars of development that you're bringing in town? We can do this for you. So I think it should be left as it is.
Well, I guess so, because you want to have a secret meeting when I was gone and pass this. Let's stay in proper order.
It was a public meeting, sir.
Oh, I mean, okay. It was a call to special
within
meeting.
The law.
But I'm not here to debate. So there's a motion in a second. Is there any other questions?
Yeah. Absolutely.
May it be recognized.
Trustee Fulcher and you, Trustee Brooks.
Okay. So the whole purpose of when we changed it to have the entire board be able to select people and get people onto the committees, because people were putting in their applications and nothing was happening. As Trustee Thompson stated, the mayor said he didn't want committees. We continue to fight. I myself continue to fight, get some people on applications, have people. Then we appointed people as well. But because even though we appointed people, we still couldn't get the support to get those committees going. Code enforcement, all that stuff. I asked the village manager several times. I said, Manager Scott, we appointed these people. The first step that needs to be done is that the village manager needs to reach out to them to have that first meeting so they can get established on who's the chair, and so they can figure out what the guidelines is, and to also make sure that whatever department that is need to work with them, they have the authority to work with them. I've asked that several times. Nothing happened. Why not? Why can't we get the support to have these committees going? People came up, the education committee, I know Deborah Taylor has talked about it. We had code enforcement, we had people on code enforcement looking to try to do something. Once we appoint them, then the next step is for the village manager to establish that first meeting. That's what I said. I've said that to you multiple times.
It's not for the
That
village
is
manager.
that is the village manager because if you have a code enforcement, I'm talking. If you have a code enforcement committee, what are they meeting on? They have to get the village manager has to get direction to code enforcement to work with that committee and to actually know what exactly they're working on. Yes, because when people send in their information, to apply for committees, it goes to the village. Those individual people do not have everybody's information. The village has the group of people's information. So the first invitation has to come from the village, which is the village manager directing somebody else to do it, or you're doing it yourself. Because you're supposed to attend the first meeting to make sure, like, this is what they're going to be doing. They want to make sure from you that they're getting information from you. As for code enforcement, as for all these other committees, because they have to work together. It's working together. It's not just them sitting together, just sitting there talking. They have to work with the administration. And you're the administration. So if we don't have the support, then of course, there you go.
Well,
so it wasn't that it was no special meeting. Everybody was sent the invitation to come to the meeting. It's because we kept trying to get people and committees going, and you did not want it. And we still want it to happen. We just need the support of the administration to get it going.
So, Trustee Fulcher, just for the record, because no one actually, I will say this about you, because no one ever asked me about putting anybody on a committee or a commission. No one ever asked me, but you did. You asked me to appoint Phyllis Sanders to the open spot. But why did everybody want to usurp the authority of the mayor? If that's what the thing is, that's what it is. But I put your appointment on there. Her name is Phyllis Sanders, and she serves on the Planning Commission.
It wasn't just Phyllis. It was several other people that I get applications with.
There was only one vacancy, but I'm not going to debate with you.
No, we kept going back and forth. It's been on the agenda several times.
I'm not.
So
because one day you're going to want to be mayor, and one day somebody else might want to be mayor. But in the meantime, give the mayor what the law says he's supposed to have. I've been doing a great job, to be honest with you, and because everybody wants to put their friends and people on the committees and commissions. I mean, look what we're talking about. Look what we're talking about, committees and the commissions. We're not talking about taxes. We're not talking about services. We're talking about volunteer people who only have advisement, who don't have the authority to make a decision. Only planning, police, and fire are mandated committees and commission. But
we're talking about it.
Trustee Brooks, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Donna.
I said we're talking about it because you have it on the agenda.
Yeah, I have it on the agenda because I've sat back and noticed. I've watched you guys, if I'm not mistaken, it was May of 2021 or somewhere in that area, where there was a special meeting called. The mayor was not here, and you guys took the ability, set the agenda, and you passed the agenda to the committees and commissions could be authorized by the board. Since then, I haven't seen any action, so I'm asking the board to give me the opportunity to serve what the people elected me for as the mayor, and it's simple as that. So there's a vote. Trustee Brooks has a comment. And then we'll just take a vote and we'll let democracy take its place.
Well, just to piggy off that you just said, Mayor, actually the ordinance, I mean, you still make the appointments. You just made the appointment of John Pate.
But that was not a committee or commission. It's a difference.
But that was the same thing, though.
No.
According to the legislation, but he still has his power. Trustee, he's trying to say you don't have the power. He has the power, and that's the same way I wanted to be part of the finance. I wanted to be part, well, that's neither here or there. It's just, you know what? What this ordinance does is that it stops the trustee's ability for asking someone to be on a committee or commission. That was the initial. And actually, that was May of 2023. You were in Vegas.
Yeah, that was 23?
Yes,
okay.
It was May 23. You were in Vegas. And yes, we held it because, to my understanding, Trustee Fulcher had asked several times about committees and commission, and you had Trustee Thompson asking about it. And so the thing is that trustees want to be able to have that ability too. Nobody is forcing and saying what you cannot do. This tonight, to repeal it, is that it's basically saying you want the power solely back in your hands, in which you have the ability to make the appointments right now. It's just if one of us want to put somebody up there, we can. We have the ability to nominate. It's no different than the Operation and Legislation Committee that was formed and it was expired under Mayor Covington. That's the only difference.
All right.
It's not used as an aggression towards you. It was just made that we have that opportunity too. And I think that if it's an issue, I think a conversation can be had with all the board members.
Well, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
So in saying that, even with Trustee Thompson giving her...
Support me and try.
We have support you, Mayor.
Okay, go ahead, Trustee. Go ahead. Let me finish now, and I'll give my comment. But you know what? What it really does?
I can't even get a word.
Listen. We can have dialogue. Trustee Thompson, that's a conversation doesn't even involve you. Let me and Trustee. You do too, because you out of order. Good. Trustee Brooks, listen. What this whole thing is basically, I'm never a hard person to get in contact with. I've been asking you since you've been on this board with me to have a lunch with me, to have a beer with me, to come down and sit down, because I always thought you had great potential, dude. I had you at my 50th birthday party, and I always thought this, man. But you won't even have a seat with me. What kind of person won't sit down?
Before I yield my time, man, I'm gonna yield my, because I did have the floor, but before I yield my time, let me say this. I got a smile tonight. The one time I did take a picture with you, it was all over the village in a negative ad. The first time I said, let me take a picture with this man, it was all over the ad. So, Mayor, I can't trust you because you're going to burn me every single time. And anybody that's voting for this tonight, that means that, you know what? You side with Mayor Rudez when it comes to this, even when it comes to these firefighters. For some reason tonight, he has the vote aye. Just like I said with the John Pay vote, he has the vote aye. So, Mayor, I have worked with you. The problem come in is that you're going to burn me because if it's not your way, it's the highway, and I don't feel like driving right now. Well, and I yield my time.
Well, thank you. Well, absolutely not. I'm not the hardest person to get along with if you actually try to do some stuff. So,
I just wanted to...
Let me finish, please, Donna.
Just for this one.
Hold on, let me finish, because, I got short-term memory loss.
Go ahead.
And I just want to say this. Well, you know what? I've done nothing harmful in this community. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Trustee Brooks. So this is what I'm asking for. Here's a roll call.
I just wanted to clear up.
Go ahead.
Right, it's just Mayor Rudez, the entire board.
Then be for the people.
I just wanted to clear up that the committees and commissions, the entire board, is not just the trustees. The mayor can select somebody as well. It's just where this ordinance that's currently right now is that everybody have say-so, because all of us have residents that come to us and say they have interest in this, they have interest in that. Okay, so when we get those residents that come to us and say, I would like to be involved in this and I would like to be involved with this, then it's our responsibility to make sure that they are being able to be looked at. I know before I became trustee, it was hard to even get on the finance committee. I applied plenty of times, didn't do it, tried to apply for the permanent one. I didn't even get that one. And then it was passed by until I had to come and basically put it out there, basically, and it was like forced to put me on. But then I wasn't even a permanent member. So it was like hard to even get it done back then. So when residents want to do something in the community, they should, regardless of how you might feel about them. I'm fine with all residents. And it's just basically all the board has the opportunity right now to select and appoint people or put people in to say, you could be on this committee. That's it. What you want to do is to take it away from the entire board
No.
and to be just you again, like you said, to the back, to be you, to be the one to just do only the selection of the people. Right now, it includes the entire board. So if we're working as a team, we should all be a part of that.
So as you want to take the statutes and cater it to the individual's manner. Because you know what? If the law was that way, why would you have to repeal the stuff? But I'm not going to continue arguing, going back and forth. I'll ask for a roll call, and we'll just see what happens. Let democracy take its place. Trustee Lewis, make the roll call, please.
Roll call. Trustee Lewis abstains. Trustee Fulcher. Trustee McFadden. Keep the power back to the mayor, or keep it as collectively as all of us, as the whole entire board. So she votes no. Trustee Fulcher.
Votes no.
Trustee Brooks.
Votes no.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes no.
Trustee Williams.
Votes no.
Mayor Rudez.
Votes no. See, I support my team. Thank you so much. All right. First, second, and third reading an ordinance repealing ordinance numbers 02018-11, amending chapter 232 of Title 6 of Part 2 of the codified ordinance of the Village of University Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois, pertaining to the composition, purpose, and configuration of the Division of Fire. Is there a motion? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Lewis. Is there a second? Second by McFadden. Questions?
Yes, I would like to be recognized.
Trustee.
So on November 19th, this was the last time this item was on the agenda, which was, I think, the 5th or 6th time. So this is probably the 6th or 7th time that it's been on the agenda. So November 19th meeting, we had a committee of the whole, and during that meeting, we had several of the board spoke, we had representatives from the fire department that spoke, and then once we ended that conversation, it was agreed that we would go into a workshop. That was the consensus of the board, to go into a workshop and talk about the different things that the fire union can provide and how they can make it where, whatever, to talk about it. So why is this on the agenda? We never had the workshop at all. So we have to be respectful of what we do. We said we was going to have a workshop. We did not have a workshop. This should not be on the agenda. So I motion for this item to be removed.
Well, there's a motion and a second on the floor already, Trustee Donna.
Well, this is a second motion.
Can we vacate the first motion?
Because we had to come and bring it up for a conversation.
So let me just make this for the moment. So what was the purpose of creating it? And maybe Trustee Brooks can help me out this, because I wasn't here. This was an ordinance that was created in 2018 to ensure that there's promotion from within inside the fire department. But my question is, why was it so important then to have a documentation in 2018 when all the 50 years prior to 2018, the process was the same? So what would made it so special that a special ordinance had to be created in 2018 if the village was in existence since the 60s, and now you go to 2018 and everything was going fine and dandy? So what was the purpose of creating an ordinance to ensure that, passing the baton?
Mayor,
Mayor Rudez.
Let me address that.
Mayor Rudez, and I just want to know, we said as a board, because you're going into the whole spiel of things, we agreed as a board November 19th to have a workshop. That did not happen. We should not be voting on, we should not even be doing a discussion until we do what we said was to have a workshop.
So, okay. So listen, what we did tonight was very, very good, I thought. We hired our fire chief.
Yeah.
And we did a good thing. We did our due diligence. our chief is gonna be a very fine person. What is the big pushback with just repealing the ordinance? I can't understand what the whole thing was in 2000.
Mayor. And Mayor, also.
No, I don't.
Also.
He don't look black to me.
It's obvious. I got eyes. I got 4 of them.
Mayor, on most regular jobs, they hire from within first. Right. That gives you upward mobility in your company.
Trustee Thompson, my question is that
you said what's the big push?
No. My question is, if everything was moving as accordingly, and everybody was getting promoted, and they're getting their accolades and moving up and down the line, what was the purpose to put an ordinance in place? It seems, in my opinion, because I've only been here 18 years, that it was catered specifically to an individual. So I'm just asking for clarity. Why was the ordinance necessary in 2018 when it went on for 50 years prior to?
Can we allow?
I'm sorry.
Can we allow former village manager, police chief,
if it is the board's pleasure?
No, I don't think so.
If it's the board's pleasure?
I say no.
But man, we already answered that question, and Trustee Fulcher is just trying to say we agreed to a workshop, and the workshop hadn't happened.
We agreed. We agreed to have, this is what the mayor, he put it out there. The union, the gentleman in the red shirt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, was up there. Round table, workshop, yes, we're gonna have it, right, sir? Absolutely. We did not have that. We should not be going back on what we said we were gonna do.
Well, I'll hold
Trustees board, we should not be going back on what we said we was gonna do. To respect that, we should do it, and we should remove this off the agenda.
So I got one more question then. Was there a workshop when the ordinance was created?
No. Can we?
Trustee?
That has nothing to do with it.
Because everybody talks about the past. That's how we get to. Was there a workshop created when the ordinance was passed? Was there a major workshop when they said that we want to create an ordinance in 2018 that we're going to have a workshop?
Well, that's not important because
I'm just asking the question.
I'm going to answer it because we said
Were
that's
you a trustee then?
No, but listen.
Only a trustee can answer that.
No, listen.
That was here.
No, I can speak.
You can, but you weren't here.
So that's irrelevant to the case about what.
It's irrelevant to you.
What happened back then? We have already decided we were going to have a workshop. What's wrong with having a workshop?
It's nothing wrong with having a workshop, but
we didn't have it.
But listen, but my question is, when I go back and look at the history, because I do stats, I'm an athlete, right? Why wasn't a workshop had prior to?
You're a referee.
I'm a statistician, whatever.
Well, we can't speak for other. We can't really speak for another board. That's, I can't speak for nobody. I'm just talking about as of what we of this board. We agreed November 19th of the committee of the whole meeting that we were going to sit down with the fire department and the union and the board and the residents and have a workshop. So we should abide by what we said and hold up to what we had agreed to.
Right. I don't have a problem with the workshop, and if the workshop is it tailored for this ordinance, is that was the purpose of the workshop, so we can work through it. And in addition to the original ordinance, from what I understood, Brian Chelios had been acting as the interim fire chief for like 4 years. Right. And we wanted to make sure at that time, because we felt like he should get that position because he had already been in it for 4 years. Right. And we never did give him that, what we felt he deserved. Right. So at that time, Trustee Brooks created ordinance, probably with the attorney, probably Welch or whoever at that time, created an ordinance, brought it to Village Manager Pate, went on to agree, and he put it into place. So that's how it came about. Now, why? I don't have a problem. I just know that that was the real reason behind the ordinance. Yes, we should have a workshop. Yes, we should get a better understanding as to why, with the fire department, everything has to go through ranks. But when it comes to the chief of police, we go outside the parameters. I think we do want the best for the community. So however we get to the best, I'm for that. But yes, I don't have a problem meeting with them, talking with them, discussing this matter, getting clarity, because I think it is an important issue and that it needs to be discussed. I didn't like it when the clerk was saying black men don't go into burning houses and they don't jump out of windows. That was incorrect. I have black firemen that I know in the city of Chicago. I lost one because of that. And for all these people to sit here silently, when she made that statement, I wanted to get a marker and put gone to lunch, out to recess. I wanted to put a cloud over each one of their heads. Because anybody could sit there. When we in the city of Chicago, you got tons of black men that go and burn in buildings. I lost a friend who went into a tire shop because the roof caved in on him. So we got to make sure that we are giving everyone a fair chance and making sure that we're following what we should when it comes to the best and the safety of our community. And that's all I have to say.
Both of my two older children came from Creek Monique High School and are both firefighters in Fort Worth, Texas right now.
So,
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to amend the first motion.
Do you like to make it? Trustee Thompson has made a motion to amend the first motion.
I would like to make a motion to table F1E.
No. So your first motion, it should be, the first thing you gotta do is ask for a motion to amend and then read, so if you read.
Yeah, just read that.
Okay, I would like to make a motion. Motion to amend.
I just would like to say my kids' name, Tamisha Wharton and Timothy Wharton.
Say what?
Proud mama right here.
Let me get this straight.
Okay.
We're gonna have a discussion.
I would like to
about
make a
hiring
motion
black people.
to amend.
Quiet, please. Go ahead. One second, Trustee. Let me quiet down a little bit. All right, Trustee Thompson.
I would like to make a motion to amend the motion for first, second, and third readings of an ordinance repealing ordinance 02018-11, amending chapter 232 of Title 6 of Part 2 of the codified ordinances of the Village of University Park, Cook, and Will Counties, Illinois, pertaining to the composition, purpose, and configuration of Division of Fire, to be tabled until a workshop is held to address the fire department issues.
I second.
Question. Roll call.
So then the next
Acting Trustee Clerk.
next motion is gonna be a motion to table the first, second.
This is to table this? Trustee Lewis votes aye.
Mama and Trustee Janelle McFadden both aye.
Trustee Fulcher.
Both sides.
Table the first, second, and third. Just read it like this.
Trustee Brooks.
Votes aye.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes aye.
Mayor Rudas.
I concur. So.
Mayor.
Go ahead, Theo. Watch it now. All right, so now.
Mayor.
Did you say vote aye?
Aye. Votes aye.
Mayor, I'm gonna make a motion to table.
No, you gonna do it, or want me to ask for a motion?
I was gonna say table F1E.
I was gonna make.
So we don't have to go unless you want me to read the whole thing.
I was okay. Well, you
yeah,
can make
I
it
just table to
first,
table.
second, and third reading. Just do the whole thing. Just like you're gonna go ahead.
Because you amended it.
Yeah, because you amended it, right?
So just F1E.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just table F1E as amended per Trustee Thompson.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Now we need a second. Oh.
To table.
Yes. That's a motion to table until a workshop. So right now, We keep talking about workshop, let's set a solid date and get a workshop done then.
Well, you want to?
After we do the roll call.
Who was second on the motion?
Yes, yeah. Okay. Roll call, Trustee Lewis?
Trustee Lewis votes aye. Trustee McFadden.
Votes aye.
Trustee Fulcher.
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes aye.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Mayor Rudez.
All right, that has been tabled. Before the end of the night's over, let's come up with a solid Saturday morning for a workshop or whatever day you guys choose, and let's not drag our feet. Let's get it done, because I think the wrong impression is being given to the fire department, and I don't want them to have the wrong impression. So maybe the conversation will be good. Maybe the conversation will be good. All right, because I'm going to push what I believe in. All right, item F1F. A resolution increasing the village manager's spending authority from $5,000 to the standard of $25,000 per transaction. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Lewis.
Second.
Second by McFadden.
I have,
Question?
comment. So again, we had talked about this earlier. I do not agree with the spending limit to be increased to $25,000. I think $5,000 is sufficient. We already stated that there's plenty of things that can be done, and it has been done for the past 10 years at a limit of $5,000. It's nothing that she's missing. So I want to read the ordinance. I see Manager Scott left, but she needed to hear it as well. Section 238-11, this is in our Muni Code codification, emergency purchases. By purchasing agent, in case of an apparent emergency which requires the immediate purchase of supplies or contractual services, the immediate procurement of which is essential to prevent delays in the work of the village, which may vitally affect the life, health, or convenience of village residents. The purchasing agent is hereby authorized to secure by open market procedure as set forth in section 238-09 at the lowest obtainable price such supplies or contractual services regardless of the amount of the expenditure. A full report of the circumstances of an emergency purchase shall be filed by the agent with the Board of Trustees and shall be entered in the minutes of the board at the next regular meeting after such occurrence. Such report shall be open to public inspection by heads of using agencies in case of an actual emergency, and with the consent of the agent, the head of any using agency may purchase directly supplies whose immediate procurement is essential to prevent delays in the work of the using agency which may vitally affect the life, health, or convenience of village residents. Recorded explanations. The head of such using agency shall send to the agent a requisition and a copy of the delivery record together with a full written report of the circumstances of the emergency. The report shall be filed with the board as provided in subscription herein. Emergency procedures. The agent shall prescribe rules and regulations under which emergency purchases may be made by division and department heads so as to implement and carry out the following procedures. 1. Emergency acquisitions of goods, supplies, and/or services shall, whenever physically possible, be authorized only by the department head. In the event that a department head cannot be reached, the chain of authority for the department in question shall be followed in authorizing an emergency requisition, and an attempt shall be made to obtain the authority of the village manager. That within 60 days of the start of each fiscal year, each department head shall prepare and have approved by the village manager a list of authorized suppliers of goods and/or contractual services who may be requisitioned in the event of reasonably foreseeable emergency circumstances. This was passed June 23rd, 1981. The ordinance was repassed August 22nd, 1995. This basically states what I just said, that emergency purchases can be done by the village manager, which includes supplies, services, anything like that, when it is affected. You can. So it's nothing stopping the village manager from purchasing anything that's necessary when there's emergency. $5,000 limit is fine. It's been working just fine for the past, I believe, 10 years.
Okay, may I say this?
Even inflation is even with. But hold on, I'm still talking. First off, but the village manager has been here for 2 years, and still we've been getting things done. It ain't nothing that it's like we're lacking. Like I said, if there's emergencies, there's emergency. She could have purchased these things. Now, if she didn't know that, that's on her. Huh? But purchasing supplies, if we need toilet paper and some wipes, that's what she's been doing already. So supplies, it's not just more than that. It's been functioning. We've been doing it for 10 years. Y'all act like this is like brand new and there's nothing we can't function at all.
Okay, now that we established that she can do emergency, but it goes beyond that, because if these other townships have $25,000, and we are under a new president who's gone nuts with inflation, with tariffs, all of the above, we do not need to be, you can't feed a family anymore with the SNAP benefits they were getting last year. You cannot. We need to increase it to 25,000. We know now that she can do what she can do for emergencies, but I know Kim is not here now. She can tell you the struggles that they have had with trying to get certain things done and not having enough money. And I got 3 cashier's checks at home right now from a village manager that abused that 5,000. She would do the 5,000, she'd turn around and do another 5,000. DJ Phantom, another 5,000. I have the proof. Yes, I do. And she continued to do it. But she made sure it always ended up at 5,000, even though she kept beating the system because it always showed 5,000. We're not getting ready to do that. At least I don't think she should have to do that. If she needs the 25, she can use it. If she doesn't, it goes back into the bank.
It ain't going nowhere.
It's not going nowhere. And we know this lady shows where every one plow tissue, whatever she buys, it's on the books. It's there. We don't have to second guess.
Let's take the vote. We did this workshop. Trustee Brooks, go ahead.
Yeah,
Let's just take the vote. We had the workshop.
Yeah, being that I sat up here and considering that everything that has happened, I'm just gonna make a comment that if Ms. Scott is not here anymore, I just hope that we continue to make wise choices on procedures, that the vote will only consist of those who believe that Ms. Scott would do exactly what she needs to do. But my point is that if the next person come in, it better be the right person. Because we have seen what happened when the wrong person sits in that seat.
Yes, we have.
And I don't like it. It makes me sick to my stomach. I have to say that it was, no, Pate wasn't in, it was Jonathan Townsend. Mm-hmm. The first board meeting, the first executive session we had as trustees. We were talking, I think Bert Odelson was just leaving at the moment, and we were sitting up here looking at some $40 to $80 million, whether it was lawsuits or bills. And so how do you keep track of all that money? And so that the point I want to make is that whatever decision is being made tonight, just please look past if Ms. Scott is not here. That's my concern, if she's not here.
Right.
Not just if she's here, I'm talking about if she's not here, the limit when it comes down to spending in the village, because will the next person come in and tell you, well, we needed to spend $25,000 for this and $25,000 of that? Right. And to be honest, whoever's sitting is the mayor or depending on the structure of the board. what I learned is that they're very quick to point back at the mayor and the board, because that's exactly what happened when those checks were sitting in the basement. That's what happened. Those checks was not being, the board was approving checks, and yet the village manager at the time and whoever the finance, handling the finance, was not even taking care of the business. Yeah, so please, let's not forget history.
Right.
We can talk about President Trump all we want to, but let's not forget our history. I yield my time.
All right, thank you, Trustee. Trustee Lewis, roll call, please.
Trustee Lewis votes aye. Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Fulcher.
Votes no.
Trustee Brooks.
No.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes no.
Trustee Williams. Mayor Rudez.
Votes aye. Thank you so much. What's the last item on the agenda? Last item on the agenda is item F1G, which is a motion authorizing the renewal of an agreement between the Village of University Park and Greenfield Lawn Care for the maintenance of village parks. Is there a motion? Moved by Brooks.
Second.
Second by a multitude of people. McFadden. Roll call. Trustee. Question?
Mayor, can we just say, that is Paulie back there, right? I'm kind of getting old. There you go. Paulie, thank you, and keep up the good work in the village. It feels good to have someone in our home backyard take care of business the way you do. God bless. I yield my time for the vote.
All right. Lewis?
Trustee Lewis votes aye. Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Fulcher.
Votes aye.
Trustee Brooks.
Absolutely yes.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes aye.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez.
Votes aye.
Make sure to read that.
All right. Let me get these bills payable. I had some long comments tonight. I think I'm going to defray them till another time. Yeah, I need to find the bills payable, though. Here we go. All right, attached for your approval is a listing of general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred on the 26th of March, 25 through April 22nd of 25. General Fund, 167, 712 and 81. Road and Bridge, 6,819, 70. Town Center Fund, 3,451 and 54. University Golf Course, 11,210, TIF 7. 9250, payroll fund 4,358 and 58, with a grand total of 193,64, 646 and 6 cents. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Moved by Lewis. Second by McFadden. Go ahead, Trustee Brooks. All right. Trustee Lewis, roll call, please. Oh, wait a minute, good question.
For Oderson, Stark, the attorneys, I've seen 2 billables for the Park District.
They shouldn't be on it.
Which totals to $555. Our attorneys shouldn't be doing Park District work. It was on the it's on the attorney's billable thing. One of them, trying to find it. It was for There's two of them. Hold on, sorry. So it's the one for 2/26/2025, and that amount was for 185. And then the other one was at the bottom of the page, 2/26/2025 for $370, and that total $555. So I would like for that amount to be removed.
$500? Is that what you're saying?
$555. It was 2 billable hours. That was 2 separate line items on their billables.
2 entries, 2 different entries.
Huh?
2 different entries. I heard you, 2 different entries, yeah. Yeah.
And that was the only reduction that I had. Only question.
Yeah, because I think that would get deducted out the levy coming, but.
Say it again. I mean, I can't.
It could be credited. It could be credited to the account, basically, and that'll be because that levy will be coming up in May.
Well,
it's time to issue a new invoice.
But the village board and the attorney shouldn't be doing anything for it. If whatever needs to be done, it needs to be done and settled with once a board is actually established for the park district, then they'll be the ones that determine all that type of stuff. But our village attorney shouldn't be submitting billable hours for anything with the park district. I said that our village managers, our attorney, sorry, not village manager, our attorneys should not be doing any billable hours in reference to the park district. That should be separate. So they can do that if they're the park district's attorney, I don't know, but once the board is established, they'll do all that type of stuff. There's no type of intergovernmental agreement, anything, nothing is out there, so nothing should be done. There shouldn't be any billable hours in pertaining to the park district. So that's why I asked for those 2 items to be removed and not paid. And that's it for me.
I just have one question, just a question. So, this is check number 113343. How do you pronounce that? WIPFLI for audit, for financial audits? WIPFLI? Okay, I would like to review them then. Are they done? Mm-hmm.
Make another copy if you can't find your copy.
I have my copy, but we never reviewed it and approved it as a board.
Okay, so we are working on the other
So
audits now.
what year was that, 2021?
Yes, so we're working on the, yes. We're working on the subsequent audits. I'll get you the dates. I don't even have the dates in front of me.
All right, Donna, you making a motion? Okay, no, I know. So okay, we're good. Anybody else? Roll call, Trustee Lewis.
Trustee Lewis, this is the motion to remove 2 of the checks. Reducing the amount by $550. $555.
Be a credit back.
Amend.
Or as state, yeah, as amended.
Okay, that's fine. Amend. Okay.
No stirp though, but okay.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right.
I'm
There's a
sorry,
motion.
here we go, let me
Okay.
find their name. Otis and Murphy Frazier,
All right.
and, okay, there you go, sorry. I don't know where I
He
get
just
started
messing with
from.
you, just
Was it started?
the grocery store.
No,
I did, it was. All right, Trustee Lewis.
Trustee Lewis votes aye. Trustee McFadden.
Both sides.
Trustee Fulcher.
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks.
Abstain.
Trustee Thompson.
Aye.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Mayor Rudez.
Votes aye to pay the bills. Thank you. All right, where we gonna start tonight? We're gonna start with the longest first. We're gonna start with Manager Scott with her report. Wait. Oh, wait. No. Wait. We just did general public comment.
It's a regular meeting.
Oh, no reports tonight.
I got one.
It's not. It's no reports on the agenda tonight.
Well, I just want to read this for,
Yes.
can I read this for, Mayor? I want to read this from, Coach Tutu.
All right, we have one thing before we close out. All right.
Okay. This is.
We did
this
the
is
public
from-
comments already to the agenda items that you addressed.
Good night.
Come on. This is last one. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Manager Scott, I'm glad you got that approval tonight because I've got a question to ask of you. Just as a snow removal program was set up to accommodate seniors, disabled, and veterans, is there a possibility you have a conversation with the same company in regards to grass for people like us?
Something that goes into the budget. It's something that I budgeted for because I thought it was important to the community, so
Okay.
that can be placed in the budget, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't take advantage of it. Okay, and I must say thank you. Thank you. Tonight was something I can't even recall experiencing at any board meeting at all. I won't speak of the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I will speak one statement regarding tonight. I've never heard a unanimous vote as I heard tonight. So that is one improvement in the right direction, but it's a lot more improvement that is needed. So much of tonight's meeting was a bit embarrassing. So much. Even with these dark glasses on, I can still look in my mirror. I suggest that everybody entertain the idea of looking in the mirror. Presentation can make a difference, not just to us here, but to those viewing and those that are going to be clicking those numbers on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good evening. And I want to welcome Sarah Boyd to the University Park Library as a new trustee.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're quite welcome, Ms. Stroud. We got a couple of statements. You want to read your proclamation, please?
This is from Coach Donzel Franklin.
Go ahead.
And Bridget Franklin. Congratulations to the 8th grade Lady Warriors basketball team at Creek Monique Middle School for making history by placing 3rd in Illinois State Tournament. Most of the team is made up of University Park youth. The University Park basketball winter season has wrapped up. We had a record number of youth participating this year. We ended the year with our annual Parents versus Coaches game, award ceremony, and the end of the season celebration that was held at Glenwood Skating Rink. The summer is fast approaching. Save the date for the UP Lions Free Summer Camp will kick off on Monday, July 7th at Palmer Park at 5:30 p.m. More information will be following soon. The Illinois Flames Track Club will start on May 27th at the former Rich East High School in Park Forest from 6 to 7:30. For more information, you can visit www.illinoisflamestc.com or call 708-414-6183. Former trustee Donzel Franklin, Coach Tutu, has initiated the Emerging Leaders Civic Engagement Program at Creek Monique High School. Recently, 4 students from the program participated in Lobby Day at Illinois State Capitol in Springfield. During this visit, they connected with members of Congress, explored the Lieutenant Governor's office, engaged the House of Representatives, met with President Don Harmon, and toured the Secretary of State Alexis Janulius' office. Coach Tutu plans to introduce the students at an upcoming board meeting where they will share their community concerns, elaborate on their roles in the program. This hands-on experience aims to nurture the generation of civic leaders and empower them to drive positive change in their community. STEAM Camp registration is at Governor State. For the summer, it is now open from ages 11 years old to 16. Please visit GSU website for more information.
Thank you. Trustee Thompson. We ain't got no reports tonight, bro.
It takes a special kind of person to care enough to take the time for others to do whatever it takes to help somebody out. To the mayor and the Board of Trustees, for everything you have done, everything you have given, thank you for the beautiful plant. And this is from Commissioner Bobby Greer.
Thank you so much. All right, Trustee McFadden, then I want to close out, just say some things to the people, and let's get out of here.
I just want to say thanks for a wonderful 4 years. Today was the most exciting meeting, and it just happened to be my last day. So thank you all for all the love and support for the past 4 years. I'm truly going to miss you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Trustee. So I'm going to say good evening and happy legislating Tuesday. First, let me start by congratulating re-elected Trustee Brooks and Lewis. Thank you for your service of residents of University Park. In preparation for the upcoming swearing-in ceremony, the mayor and the Board of Trustees are looking forward to welcoming the families and friends of our newly elected trustee, Sonia Bell Jenkins, and our re-elected trustees, Theo and Brooks, I almost called y'all, and Karen Lewis. Please be advised that the swearing-in ceremony reception will occur on May 6, 2025, promptly at 6 p.m. Location to be announced within the next week. Trying to get it, of course. And should you have any questions regarding this ceremony or anything logistical, please contact me as soon as possible. Thanks in advance for your continued support. And also, dear Trustee Janelle McFadden, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your invaluable service as a trustee. Your dedication and hard work have contributed significantly to the mission and vision of the forward movement on behalf of the residents who call the great village of University Park home. On behalf of the mayor, Board of Trustees, and the village of University Park, we wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and it's been a pleasure with you serving with me, trustee. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much.
Listen, I'd also like to make a motion, ask something for a motion for adjournment because the Lakers and the Timberwolves are playing. Moved by Lou. All in favor? Opposed? None. Thank you, sir.